trying to manage that.
Well, first let's start with painting us a picture of, because at some point you put on is it on our page that you have received a call that is an urgent press conference that was going to be held at the presidency. Give us an idea. Walk us through what happened subsequent to that. When you got to the presidency, what happened?
All right. So yesterday, the presidential press call was supposed to have the government accountability series with the Minister for Fishery, Agriculture, Development. And so it was supposed to be at 11. So the press call by 9:30, all of us were supposed to be around. So we gathered and everything started exactly at 11 o'clock. But right after the accountability series, you could hear and you could see colleagues gathering into three, whispering to each other, watching their phone, showing information to colleagues. So if you are not part of those groups gathered and whispering or in a group of meetings, then you want to find out exactly what is happening. And so what we heard was that some tragedy has happened around the Adansi area. But then, as professional as the presidential press call, you're supposed to wait and get confirmation from government, if not from Honorable Felix Kwachu Fusu, then maybe Eric Ahianyong or Tandobe. So we're all lip-tied waiting for a final confirmation. At that particular moment, everybody was like solemn in attitude, mood, everything was calm, nobody was moving, everybody was as if like we've had some information, but it was so, I don't know even how to put it, and immediately it's like the stories that we were working on, everybody was standstill, everybody couldn't move. The atmosphere even within the media room was so moody, so quiet. Everybody, like, you've heard the story, but then the story had not even come. Around that same time, a group of, a section of the presidential press corps were supposed to travel to Goma Fete for the Assemblies of God, pastors and their wives conference. And that was where His Excellency John Omane Boamah was supposed to be for that particular program. And they were supposed to leave around 12:30. And so around that same time, information came that the program has been cancelled. And so immediately in our minds, we're like, yes, so this might confirm the information that we had that the chopper Z9 has crashed. And so we were waiting. Then again, as they came back from the bus, we were not able to go. Then immediately it was posted that there was going to be an emergency meeting. Then in our mind, we were, for example, myself, I couldn't do anything. I was shivering. The rumor too was immediately it was three people that I knew very well. Recently I've come close with them because perhaps before maybe my relationship with them in time past, then for that a member of the presidential press corps to the government accountability series, anytime they are done with their presentation, I have to go to them and talk to them. And so So I have become very close to them. That is Honorable Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boamah and Muntaka Ibrahim Mohammed, that is the Interior Minister. Then Comrade, I always call him Comrade. When you call him Honorable, he will tell you that, Patrick, don't call me Honorable. I want to be called Comrade. That is Muntaka Ibrahim Mohammed.
That's Murtala. That's Murtala, actually. Yes.
Yeah, that is Murtala. So when they said we're going to have the emergency press conference, then all of us are like, okay, so it is true. We'll have to move to the auditorium. We were there. I saw senior government officials holding tissues. Some were wearing dark glasses, so you might not see their eyes or look into their eyes. It was a serene, very calm atmosphere. When you see two people walking, one is tapping the other. When you see three people, they are consoling themselves. I was like, so let's all wait patiently and hear what exactly government will say. Then we were set around 2 o'clock. Then the information came that 2:30, the emergency meeting will commence. We were waiting patiently to hear. At a point in time, I was praying that it shouldn't be any of the ministers, but there should be like any chopper elsewhere was crashed, because it was going to be very devastating. I was there. Then it was 25 minutes past 2. Everything was set. And I saw Suhini. That was initially when I was coming. I saw somebody, I saw his bag was entering into the office. Then again, when I saw him, when it was up close to 2:30, he was having a tissue. You could see that Suhini was crying. I was like, no, this can't be true. And I was like, no, this can't be true. And everybody will come. Like I said earlier, when you see two people walking, one will be tapping the shoulder, consoling him or her. And so finally it was 2:30. Then the chief of staff, the two deputies chief of staff also walked in. That is Nana Boadu, and Standobe. Everything was said. Julius Debra entered. Then the news was that 8 people have perished in the helicopter crash at Adansi. They were going to mention names. And the first person name that was mentioned was Honorable Dr. Omane Boamah. Then Murtala. Then the rest were mentioned. We couldn't, majority of the people were crying, were weeping. Couldn't do anything. Myself, I found myself in that situation. All we have to do is glory to God. It's a serious national disaster. And so, yesterday, from morning to evening, the very first story, none of the media, the presidential press quoted that story. Our focus now turned to a different situation. So the ministers, some of the ministers who were there after the press briefing on the military, that is a defense ministry, people who came there. The information was that immediately they will have meeting with the vice president and the president to see the way forward as to how they're going to base the victims, their families. And they also had a meeting with the ministers who were around, led by the education minister, Honorable Idris. So this is exactly what happened at the presidency yesterday.
Have you had any subsequent information aside what we have in the public domain with a statement being shared as to what will happen next?
So for now, the directive from government is that all flags should be flying at half-mast. Then, again, government has declared 3 days of national mourning. This is the information that I have here. But yesterday, I can confirm that the mortal remains of the victims have been airlifted to Accra, to the various hospitals. And we are waiting for the next move by government so that we'll know exactly where we're going.
And and thank you very much. You've done quite a fantastic job. Anyway, in fact, you knew Omane Boamah before he became minister. In fact, you were quite involved in the 2008 campaign in your capacity as deputy producer to Roland Aqua-Steven on both the Go Power Drive and then also on Alaji and Alaji. You also knew Murtala back before Murtala. Everybody started to find out who Murtala was. I don't know what the memories for you will be.
If I want to start with Honorable Omane Boamah, I could say that I knew Omane Boamah again, like Lati said, because I was assisting Roland Aqua-Steven to produce the morning show back then. And so if there is any program, press conference or anything, Roland will send me. And so prior to the 2008 elections, there was this group, a short group called CG, that is the Committee for Joint Action, led by Mr. Atua Hall and the rest, as well as Comrade Pratt Jr. And so anytime you have a program, you have to get. So it was one of the programs that I got to know Honorable Omane Boamah, and he has to read an audit report. And he read it very well. And at the end of the day, all the big men around were full of praise of him. And so that is where I got to know Honorable Omane Boamah. And since then, we be friends. And because of Radio Gold and Alaji, they never miss Alaji and Alaji. They always want to find out if there is space on Alaji that they have to, even when you don't ask them to be on it, they always have something that they want to share. And so that rapport between myself and him grew from that time up to the time they won the election in 2008 and subsequently 2012. But when they were out of government, and because everybody was also out of government, and that unfortunate incident of Radio Good closure also happened, then once in a while you call to check on friends and those that you know them in government or in past administration, and so on and so on. But the relation, because sometimes if Alaji is starting at 8 o'clock, they will come even before 8 o'clock and be with you. They will talk family issues, education, job issues, everything. We talk. Sometimes when they leave home very early and they've not taken their breakfast, they will ask what is the nearest place that they can get Wache. As usual, you go to Radio Gold Junction, then you buy Wache, then all of you will sit. So I have that kind of relationship with Omane Boamah. I have that kind of relationship with Omane Boamah. I couldn't control myself yesterday when I had the information. He's somebody that I can say that is those persons or people, if you don't know them and you see them from afar, you think they are antisocial or you think they are not friendly. They don't come closer to people. He doesn't speak much, but if he is speaking, you realize that he's full of knowledge, intelligence. And so, unless you come close to Omane Boamah, you might not know him very well. I quite remember somewhere back to the 2016 election, Omane Boamah asked me to do something. He was surprised. He asked me to give him the names of Radio Gold and Muntie staff. And I was just with him, and I gave him everybody's name without calling anybody, and he was surprised. I was like, Patrick, so it means that you knew your colleagues very well. And I said, yes, I always talk to them, have that good relationship with everybody. So I know Muntie, all of them. I know Radio Gold, everybody, including management and everything. It was surprised. It was like I should keep it up because I could keep things in my mind. And that is how I know. Unless you will ask him anything like assistant or you want an assistant for somebody that is close to you. So far as it is you that they have that relationship with, that you are appealing for any support for a friend or somebody within the party that he thinks that you know him and because of you, he will always come to your aid. Comrade is a different person altogether. Comrade is somebody that when he became the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, I visited him in his office. He traveled to China one of his trips, and when he came, and for Comrade, he is just a fantastic person. Comrade personal interpersonal relationship is up there. Comrade, the way he would talk to you, he will encourage you. So, Senna, closely, I've seen these people. I've worked with them. I've eaten with them. We sat down. Comrade, when he comes to Alaji, what he will want you to buy for him is cocoa and ose. So, these two people, they've had a positive impact in my work as a journalist because they will talk to you. When you want to do something, you have to do it 3 times. Think about it, rethink before you will take any action. And Omane Boamah was one of the persons who, my first time of traveling to the United States of America, Sweden was then the presenter of the show. He says, no, you have, like Senator, you always tell me, when you see them, go to them because they know you are there with them. That's the same thing that Sweeney also told me in those days. So he asked me to go and see him, and he was able to help me to have my flight ticket and everything to the United States of America. So, Senna, what I can say about these two gentlemen, it is very sad for me, Senna.
And thank you very much for doing this. I know it's difficult, but thank you, Patrick. Best of the day.
Thank you very much, Senna. Okay,
Best of the day. Patrick Asdord Boadu is our presidential affairs correspondent. If there's any other issues coming from the presidency, we'll get it for you and we'll share with you on exactly the next steps to take. We'll also speak to the deputy presidential spokesperson, Shamima Muslim, shortly. But Nancy, you have a statement from the parliamentary service. Comrade Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed was member of parliament for Nantong. That's how far back we know Comrade. Nantong. And I remember, correct. You see, he was as transparent as everything. He didn't mind once he knew you, would be if you ask him any question, like, oh, Comrade, what happened? You'll be surprised. If he knows you, he will be frank, open, and tell you exactly what happened. If it is his fault, Comrade would admit that this is my fault. This one, I know that it is my fault. He will admit it. If it is not, that one is another issue. And he's always frank and straightforward. He tells people what he thinks without mincing words. He's one of those. Nancy was telling the story about the last time he came here on the show. He came, it was quite, I think it was just about a bit later than we had booked him for. But when he came, he said he wanted, Nancy said he wanted cocoa.
He said, get me my cocoa.
Yes.
I said, oh, boss, but you came late. Then still I'll drink my cocoa. So I went to buy the cocoa. Then I was about to serve him. He says, no, don't pour it. Give me. And he took it in the rubber.
He shook it. Well, so that's Comrade. To be very frank, that's Comrade. And one of the things he always, Alaji, whenever he comes, he always says that, Latifa, you are always on TikTok. Then Latifa will ask him, what were you doing on TikTok that you saw me? Then Latifa will tell us that this man is always on TikTok himself. So he's quite one of the persons that is, Comrade is quite relatable.
That's
very relatable. Very
word.
relatable. But brilliant.
The brains.
Comrade is brilliant. In fact, if you have ever encountered him, that's when you ask yourself. You see, there's a group. I always talk about this group that I met when I came to when I came to Radio Gold. And when I came to Radio Gold, Nancy, remember how I was just pushed onto the track? First day, I read news. Then that was my life. About 2 or 3 months after, I had to sit in for Suhini on Alaji. And the very first time I got to meet Omane Boamah. Then I got to meet Sami Okujeto Ablakwa, Felix Kwachofo. So that's the group, 3 of them. Then there was Samo Jata George, 4. Then over time, I got to meet Comrade Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. And those people, when they are sitting before you, they start talking, you start asking yourself, me too, do I read any book? Because their knowledge is vast. When you listen to them, you can hear the sense that these are people who read.
Yeah.
They read. And when you go face to face with them on what, you have to know your stuff. Very, very sharp people. So you got to know who they were. Omane, people never know. But after dealing with him for some time, I realized that Doc is actually shy. People don't realize it. People think that he's not sociable. But Doc is shy. Because Doc tends to always, when he's talking to you, lower his head most of the time. But interestingly confrontational for no reason. I met Doc once, and I recall I had been trying to get him on Alaji for some time. He was not picking. So I met him, and I didn't even say anything. Nancy, I just went to greet Doc. He said, hi, Sana, how are you? I see your message. So then he started explaining. I was like, but this one, did I ask you anything? He explained. I said, Doc, it's okay. After that one, it's the way it works. I'm a broadcaster, so I understand. It's not easy. Sometimes there are many people on. He said, oh no, you don't see me. Saturdays, I rarely go on any shows anymore because of the current duties I perform. He told me that he was doing some other things. And I said, oh, Doc, no problem. As long as you are within touch that I can. In the lead up to the elections, it was always, he spoke to us constantly, or refer us to Tanko Rashid, almost all the time. So Doc is someone we've engaged with on many occasions, both privately and also on work issues, Dr. Asdord Omane Boamah. So the 2 of them I do know quite well. Then there's thank God at least I have some confidence to say something. So let me say it before we go to Shamima. Then there's Limuna Muniro. Do you know those who made me? I'll never forget that name because of 2 people. Bernard Alote, Valentina Oforiefree. The 2 of them, Limuna Muniru. I've always wondered, who is this Limuna Muniru? All the time. The 2 of them seem to know the man, but the rest of us didn't. He really granted interviews. So you're wondering, so how do they know this man? So Limuna Muniru's name stuck somehow. So when I hear Limuna, I say, oh, Limuna Muniru. That name has always stuck. with us because it was at one point in time Minister for Food and Agriculture. Yes, so Limuna Muniru is a name that we know quite well. Then there's your your friend Samuel Sapong.
My friend.
Yes, Samuel Sapong. Well, Alaska has a video. It's one of the last outings made by Samuel Sapong. He usually had this thing he played. Is it a mouth organ or whatever they call it? I think that's
the flute.
Is that a flute or that's the mouth organ? I think they call it that's the mouth organ. He likes playing that. The last time I think they said he was in the Volta region.
He's quite good with it.
Yes, at an event and decided to play it to everybody. And our condolences to the family of everyone.
Yes.
Everyone. It's a sad way to go. Anyway, so we'll speak to the deputy government spokesperson shortly on this issue. We'll find out what next for the government, what will be happening this morning, and follow up, and of course get some clarity on some of the statements that have been issued thus far.
You know me and the way I relate with people, I always say they remember where they are coming from. So Murtala has been one of those people. Showing up in the media space was Laura to Omar back in the newsroom. It was something we wanted to talk about. Then Laura said, there is this guy at National Youth Authority. Was that it?
Yes. He was at National Youth Authority.
There's this guy at National Youth Authority. Call him. He gave me the number. She gave me the number. Then I called him. And that was the start of Murtala Mohammed. We spoke to him, and anytime there's anything, would even ask if he has, if he has any knowledge about the subject matter we want to discuss, and we'll go back to Murtala. And that's how Murtala started showing up in the media and became a household name. And I don't know. He can decide that I am not granting media interviews, but call Murtala from Radio Gold, and he would show up anytime. Sena?
He would. Well, we'll be doing some more. Unfortunately, there are those of you who say we should. I don't know. So the Israel Bruce says when he had Patrick just was in his flight. The tears, they said that this journalist the reporter just increased my tears more. So therefore, I kindly use your microphone and calm some of us now. It's too much to carry.
Need calming.
I plead with you, Fusana. My job is one of the jobs I do is to inform. So first of all, give you an idea how because one of the things you need to find out as well, how the general government is doing, how they are faring, what happened to their bodies and those things. That's why I'm here. If not, I won't be here. But so we need to give you some information as to how things will proceed moving forward. We'll be getting some people who knew them very well to share some of their stories with us. One of the people perhaps would love to speak to this morning is Roland Aqua Stevens. He knew everybody before everybody became somebody. That is Roland Aqua Stevens. Fantastic guy. He knew everybody before everybody became somebody. A good morning to Roland Aqua Stevens.
say